Well, Nissan, you did it. You built a car all by yourself with the help of no one else. Finally, a Japanese sports car made by one company and one company alone. It's refreshing. The Nissan wait, I was gonna say 400Z. The Nissan Z finally was officially revealed. And I think it's pretty remarkable that Nissan didn't lie. They said that this car was at 95% production, and it was very true. It looks barely different than the Nissan Proto Z. First things first, the grille. It doesn't look like a Samsung TV anymore, so that's pretty cool. It has this kind of chrome brace face mesh on it, I guess you could say, but it does look better than just the big gaping black rectangle, so that's something. Once again, that could always be changed later in the aftermarket. Before we get into more of the nitty-gritty about the Nissan Z, I want to thank today's sponsor, Upstart. If you dread looking at your credit card statements, you're not alone. Debt can feel extremely crippling, but Upstart can help you on your path to financial freedom. Upstart is a fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment. Upstart knows you're more than just your credit score and is expanding access to affordable credit. And unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and your current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan. Within a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate upfront for loans between $1,000 and $50,000. And you can receive funds as soon as one business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/blue. That's upstart.com/blue. Don't forget to use our URL and let them know we sent you, and go to upstart.com/blue. I watched the reveal last night and I just kind of want to break it down, tell you my thoughts on it, and basically go through a few things. What do I think of the name? What do I think of the presentation? And what do I think about the car's future? First, they start with New York City and they drive through New York City in each generation of the Z, starting with the Datsun, going to the 300ZX, and then going to the 350, then to the 370. And I'm sorry, I can't get behind the 50th anniversary 370Z. The first time I saw it, I literally thought they had a mismatched hood with the color of the car. I thought they were like, oh, must have gotten in an accident or something. Why would they choose the car that they had to put a different panel on? And then I realized it was completely on purpose. And I was like, oh no. It's just not my thing. Having that red hood and the red stripes, it just looks tacky to me. And lo and behold, Cody Walker gets out of the car to do the presentation. I don't think they could have had a better choice to represent a new JDM tuner car of this generation. And side note, Cody, if you're watching, first of all, you did a great job. Second of all, you sent me an email like 2 years ago and I about a brick, and I was so ecstatic about it. He basically said, hey, thanks for making cool videos and stuff like that, and that was amazing. And what's even better is that he talked about Reach Out Worldwide, the charity foundation that Paul Walker founded in order to help people around the world. So thankfully, Cody got to get up there, talk about Reach Out Worldwide, and then also talk about the new Z. Okay, Nissan Z. What do I think about the name? Honestly, I was surprised they didn't call it the 400Z because I actually thought it was a pretty good name, but then I really thought about it and then I was like, oh, well, it's not a 4.0 motor and et cetera, et cetera. And because the Nissan Z, the way it kind of comes off to me is I'm huge into movies and film, and it's almost like when a really bad movie is made and then like a year or two later, they do a soft reboot. A certain movie with another movie that was way better, if you know what I'm saying. At the same time, that's me being picky. I just thought it was an interesting choice just to call it the Nissan Z. Is it Z everywhere else in the world? Would you call it the Nissan Z, I guess? Maybe? They kept mentioning the word fun. They just wanted the car to be fun. That's it. Not too many demands. Manual transmission, which is fantastic. Standard. Manual transmission is standard. And then the automatic has a 9-speed automatic transmission. The real talk of the town is the manual transmission. Let's talk about it. The new Supra, after driving it a lot, needed a manual transmission. Even though the automatic was really good, it needed a manual. and it took away from the character of the car, unfortunately. It was also overpriced. And now we have other cars like the GR86 that just came out. If you'd like to see that review, just came out with that a few days ago. Great car, fantastically fun, but it's manual standard. So companies are finally realizing that there is a niche audience for the manual transmission. Manual transmissions are a hard sell nowadays, but the fact that they're giving it as an option, period, does leaps and bounds for the enthusiast community. And that's why the Nissan Z, I was gonna say 400Z again, has an edge over its Japanese competitors, or especially the Supra. The presentation at the beginning is very lovely. They're interviewing these previous Datsun owners or Z owners, one of them who has owned Zs for 50 years straight, which is pretty incredible. But it shows there is a fan base for this car and that they can't really screw this up. All right, let's talk about power. They did not let us down. I thought that they were gonna be like 350 horsepower, 370 horsepower. Nope, they did 400 horsepower. I was like, if they hit 400 horsepower, they're gonna sell a lot more cars in my opinion. For some reason, the difference between like 370 and 400 just sounds better in the market psychologically. It's like, oh, my car's so much faster, right? And it will be faster. And the motor they're using, 3.0 twin turbo V6, great choice of engine. And I actually drove a 370 with a manual and that motor in it as like a preview of this car. I actually enjoy driving that engine with a manual more than I did in the Q50 and Q60. So it does suit it well. It doesn't feel like it's out of place. Also, it has 350 foot-pounds of torque, which is also fantastic. It's not gonna be a slouch, you know, all the way at like 280 or 300 foot-pounds compared to 400 horsepower. So that's great as well. And it's gonna use tiny little turbos, so it's gonna spool up really, really fast. Power's great, manual transmission. They kept all their promises so far. What else? Look, I'm biased, I'm that dude in blue, I understand. But seriously, this car looks amazing in my opinion in this color, and they went with a blue interior, which I'm really surprised about. I don't think I've seen another car company do this since the S2000 when they had a blue interior. It's not all blue, it's just like this two-tone with the seats. But if you notice on the driver's side, it's black interior almost all the way, and then it goes to blue, so that's a little weird how it's not symmetrical in a way, that there's no blue trim there and then around. I think it would have been a smarter choice for the blue trim to be much more like the yellow car with having blue stitching rather than the kind of giant panels of blue. The yellow stitching looks great, so if they went down that avenue, I think it would be a better sell in that sense. But I appreciate you, Nissan, for making something unorthodox and kind of silly and fun in a way that's much more different. The Nissan design team said that the front was inspired by the 240Z, which is very clear, and that the taillights were inspired by the 300ZX, which makes sense. There's just something about the Proto Z that wasn't quite right, and the grille didn't help and those little tiny things. But it's amazing what happens when you go that extra 5%. Like they said, the Proto Z was 95% there, and they added that extra 5%, and they fixed a lot of the body line stuff that I just wasn't that into. It's got a 12.3-inch digital display with the 3 analog gauges, just like the old Zs on top of the dash. It's also got a 9-inch touchscreen display, but they have a physical knob for climate control, which is always great in modern cars. I'm so tired of climate control through a touchscreen. I will say the whole like arm crossing thing was really cheesy though in the reveal. It's like, why does everybody take the Pawn Star crossing Discovery Channel thing and apply it to like everything nowadays if it associates with the car industry or anything else? It's always like, this is David Patterson, that dude in blue, and he lives in Atlanta, Georgia. It's like, no, like, stop doing that. It's unnatural and cringy. Just quit, please. It's just such a weird thing. I remember I got asked to do it for a show one time at a local car meet, and I was like, can I just do something else, please? I know I'm awkward, but give me a break here. Side note, even though Nissan kept their promise about this car, on a little bit of a tangent, I don't think the Integra is gonna be exactly what we think it is. The Integra might be a competitor to this car in a different way. You know, even though it's front wheel drive and everything, the Integra has such a great brand name that it might be priced right around the same. And I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be Civic Type R based. It's gonna use the Civic Type R motor, and I think it's gonna be a 4-door. Mark my words. I really don't think they're gonna do a coupe. If you want me to do a more in-depth prediction video about the new Integra, please let me know in the comment section below and like upvote it like crazy. That way I know what you guys want. Integra, the Supra, the Nissan Z, I keep wanting to say 400Z, the GR86, like Japan is finally coming back with sports cars. They had the FRS and the BRZ, but other than that, they made the same 370Z for God knows how long. They made the same R35 for over 10 years, and it just got really stale. And that's why America kind of took over for a while, in my opinion, when it came to more affordable, accessible sports cars. Mustang, Camaro, Hellcat, like all those cars have insane power per dollar. Like it's absurd the times we live in. But now if you're more of a JDM guy or Japanese enthusiast or import enthusiast, you finally have options again. And I think Nissan really knows that. And what do I think of the Nissan Z in general? This is probably the only new car in an attainable range I'm actually considering getting. Like in the future, I'm thinking about it. I'm not 100% there, but I'm actually thinking about it because it's one of those things that it's attainable, it's relatable to everybody, and I want to drive a car that isn't a bajillion dollars, accessible for the masses, that has a manual transmission and has good heritage. That's what I want. And I think the Nissan Z checks all those boxes, at least so far. But point of the matter is, I'm excited for this car. I'm excited what the aftermarket does with it, with people like Z1 Motorsports. I think they're gonna have an absolute ball with this thing. And it's just really fantastic to see that we live in a transitional period between internal combustion engines, electrics, and hybrids. And all these car companies are making these pretty amazing cars when they don't have to. They could just be building SUVs and trucks and crossovers and boring sedans, but they understand that having these performance cars does affect their brand's image. I mean, like I said a million times before, look at Mitsubishi. When's the last time you thought about Mitsubishi and they don't make the Evo anymore, or the Galant VR4 anymore, or the Eclipse anymore? That's not a real Eclipse. I'm not arguing about this right now. Nissan has done something right under the nose of the Toyota Supra, and they know it. Will it be as fast as the Supra? We don't know yet. But at the same time, I don't think that matters. I don't think people care. I think people just want a third pedal, a stick shift car from Japan that's brand new and has some horsepower. And finally, Nissan did it. Make sure to hit the like button. It actually really helps me out. And along with that, hit the subscribe button and the bell. And I will see you guys next time. I upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And I will see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. This video is brought to you by Patterson Car Care. Get double of premium original detail product for half the price. Head over to PattersonCarCare.com or go to the link in the description below.